Thank you for watching. ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock. ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Good evening. I'm Lindsay Pena, and I'm joined remotely by my co-anchor, Steve Atkinson. He's live at the Registrar of Voters in Kearney Mesa, where early voting for the November election is officially underway. We'll be checking in with him shortly. But we begin with breaking news. President Trump is back at the White House after being discharged from Walter Reed. This is new video of him from about an hour ago. After landing in Marine One, the president walked up the stairs of the South Portico, removed his mask, looked over the balcony, and gave a thumbs up and a salute. The president spent 3 days undergoing treatment for COVID-19 at the hospital. As ABC's Elizabeth Schultze reports, his doctors say he's well enough to return home, but is not out of the woods just yet.
President Trump departed Walter Reed Medical Center tonight, 3 nights after he arrived to get treated for COVID-19. The president set to return to a White House that is now its own COVID hotspot. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany revealing she tested positive for the virus this morning. ABC News has learned at least 2 other White House staffers in the press office also got positive test results in recent days. But McEnany never quarantined as the CDC guidelines specify, even briefing the media yesterday after removing her mask. And sources tell ABC News McEnany was pulled from the president's trip to Bedminster, New Jersey last Thursday because of her proximity to top aide Hope Hicks, who also tested positive. President Trump violating the health agency's recommendations last night during a surprise drive-by to wave to his supporters outside the hospital. The president, who health experts believe is likely still contagious, wearing a mask in the back seat, but that vehicle is sealed to protect against chemical attacks, meaning the air inside doesn't circulate, putting the Secret Service officers in the SUV at risk. The White House saying in a statement appropriate precautions were taken, including PPE. The movement was cleared by the medical team as safe to do. But the CDC says any movement of a hospitalized COVID patient outside their room should only be done for medically essential purposes. Doctors say President Trump is responding well to the antiviral treatment remdesivir and to a steroid called dexamethasone, but the use of that steroid raising questions about the severity of the president's condition. The National Institutes of Health recommends it be given to patients who are severely or critically ill, and by lowering the immune system can potentially cause further damage to a patient's organs. We don't yet know what the president's schedule will look like after he leaves the hospital tonight and if he'll remain in isolation at the White House. The president has said he's eager to get back to the campaign with just 29 days until the election. Joe Biden also saying he's looking forward to the upcoming town hall debate with the president. Elizabeth Schultze, ABC News from Walter Reed Medical Center in Maryland.
ABC News has now confirmed at least 17 coronavirus cases as part of the outbreak at the White House. From President Trump's inner circle, the president and First Lady, close counselors Hope Hicks and Kellyanne Conway, and the president's personal aide Nick Luna. There have been new revelations about positive cases in the White House Communications Department and Press Corps. Today, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany revealed she is positive. 2 of her deputies also have COVID, Chad Gilmartin and Caroline Leavitt. In addition, 3 reporters are now sick. 1 came forward publicly, the New York Times' Michael Shear. The other 2 are unnamed. Trump campaign manager Bill Stepien and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie got it after helping the president with debate prep. The others were guests at the Supreme Court nomination ceremony, Senators Mike Lee, Tom Tillis, and Ron Johnson, and Notre Dame President John Jenkins. While California has seen some positive news when it comes to coronavirus, many other states are starting to see new spikes. Case numbers are going up in 33 states. New York City is trying to contain the surge in hotspot neighborhoods. They're closing 100 schools that had reopened.
The infection rate is going up. Beware the fall has been right.
The CDC is updating its guidance again. It says it's possible for COVID to spread to people more than 6 feet away, especially indoors in poorly ventilated spaces. Now to the latest on coronavirus in San Diego County. 224 new cases were reported today, bringing the total to 48,660. None of those cases are connected to the recent outbreak at San Diego State. And no new deaths were reported, which is usually the case on Mondays. So that number remains at 803 for now. You can follow any developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News. Your voice, your vote. The 2020 election officially begins today, and it's already proving to be a year like no other. ABC 10 News anchor Steve Atkinson joins us from the Registrar of Voters office with why you can be confident your vote will count, whether you vote in person or by mail. Steve?
That's right, Lindsay. There has been so much misinformation about mail-in voting and how it would lead to fraud, but that's simply not the case. In fact, here in San Diego County, 3/4 of registered voters have been voting by mail for years. This is nothing new to us. Now, all 1.9 million registered voters will get one of these, an opportunity to mail in your vote this year because of state law and, of course, to keep everybody safe during the pandemic. We got an opportunity to tour this place here at the Registrar of Voters office and get a look inside. And they do want to tell you here at the county, you can rest assured that your vote will count no matter how you deal with your ballot. Our behind-the-scenes tour included an inspection of the county's state-of-the-art sorting room.
The very first thing that happens is they get checked into the system.
The ballots flying through these machines may not appear so significant unless you understand they are verifying 44,000 envelopes an hour. Every signature on every mail ballot is confirmed within tenths of a second.
All that information gets inputted into our voter registration system, okay? And then that barcode, which is the voter, gets tied to the registration form on file. And that's how we are able to do the side-by-side comparison of the signature on the envelope against the signature that we have when they registered to vote.
Michael Vu has been involved in elections for almost 25 years. In 2016, long before there was a thing called COVID, he could see the future for San Diego County was going to be the mail ballot. So he and his team prepared for an unprecedented election such as this.
We've built the infrastructure, we've built the processes and protocols to ensure the security of every single ballot and that there is utmost integrity in that process.
How can you assure voters that this will be a legitimate election?
Well, for a number of reasons why. Again, what's happening on the national scale is not happening here in San Diego. We have a rich history of voting by mail.
And despite what we've heard about voting by mail from the president,
it's a fraud and it's a shame.
Vu says he's worked hand in hand with the U.S. Post Office for years and has the utmost confidence in the system.
They have thousands of collection boxes that are out there. They are a reliable source of returning mail ballots back to our office.
They are a reliable source, as Michael Vu mentioned. Now, even if you want to hand deliver your mail-in ballot that you get in the mail, you can do that as well. The county is going to provide 126 mail drop-off locations for the county. There's going to be a monitor there that makes sure that you have signed and that you have sealed your ballot as well. A lot is coming up, so here's some important dates that you need to know about. Again, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, today is the first day of voting. This will go all the way up through the November 3rd election. The deadline to register to vote registration must be postmarked by that date. After that time, you can still vote conditionally, which means you come in here, you register, and you vote in the very same day. In-person voting begins on Saturday, October the 31st. It runs for 4 days this year instead of just 1 day, ending on Election Day, November 3rd. So a lot to get ready for, and they want to make sure that you are educated and ready to vote. Lindsay, send it back to you.
Good information. Thanks, Steve. The staggering scale of California's wildfire has reached another upsetting milestone, and the fire season is far from over. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest on the fires that now cover an area larger than the state of Connecticut.
Those flames still tearing through California wine country are part of a grim new record. More than 4 million acres have now been scorched this year in the state, more than double the previous record. The August complex fire, now the biggest in state history at more than 1 million acres, burning now for nearly 2 months. And the glass fire, prompting new evacuation orders in Napa Valley over the weekend.
Hopefully we can come home soon.
Thousands of evacuees forced out of their homes.
I'm just stressed out.
Anxiously waiting as firefighters work relentlessly to contain the flames. Losing their battle at this engulfed winery in Calistoga, but managing to save the American flag, while in the rubble of hundreds of homes that have been destroyed, including Brian Yates's.
It roared through there and it took pretty much everybody's place.
So many, like Yates's daughter, are focusing on what's been spared.
Everything is gone, and it's okay because I still have my dad.
After a stretch of hot, windy conditions, temperatures are finally dropping in that area. Firefighters are optimistic that could make a big difference in this battle. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
More than 3 million Californians are expected to receive lost wages assistance payments by the end of the week after a 2-week reset to tackle fraud and a massive backlog. The payments will be sent to qualifying residents who previously collected regular unemployment insurance or pandemic emergency unemployment. The payments will be in the form of a $600 check or 2 separate checks in the amount of $300. Since March, the EDD has paid $94 billion in unemployment benefits. Crews are cleaning up a huge mess after a heavy-duty truck overturned and spilled fuel on State Route 78 in Ramona. Sky 10 was overheard this morning as CAL FIRE responded to that scene. The big rig was carrying a fire department's water tender when it overturned on the curve. CHP said the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. They're asking drivers to take Old Julian Highway to get around that accident. The San Diego Padres have never faced the Los Angeles Dodgers in the playoffs, but that changes tomorrow. The teams are in Texas getting ready for the National League Division Series, and ABC 10 News Sports Director Ben Higgins tells us what it all means for Southern California baseball rivalry.
For a Padres fan, beating the Dodgers always feels a little better than a win over any other team. But a playoff win? It's something that's never happened. The biggest win arguably came on the last day of the season with the teams tied for first place and the National League West title on the line.
That's it. Curtis strikes out, and the San Diego Padres are the champs of the NL West.
Fernando Tatis Jr. hadn't been born yet when that game was played, but now he's a central figure in trying to help the Padres deliver an even bigger moment against the Dodgers. He wouldn't take the bait when asked what these two teams think of each other.
That's a good one. Nothing.
But he's undoubtedly looking to shine on baseball's biggest stage.
I feel real players make real history in the postseason.
As with any rivalry, there's some bad blood. Last month, Trent Grisham homered off Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw and took a moment as he left the batter's box to stare into the Padres dugout. It's a move that rubbed Dodgers manager and Vista native Dave Roberts the wrong way.
I just took exception to that.
The Padres had their fair share of impressive moments against their rivals this season, but the Dodgers took 6 of 10 games in the series. And if that adds a little fuel to the fire, that's fine by Padres manager Jace Tingler.
Emotions are high, things are at stake, and to me, that's a plus, and I think it's wonderful for the game right now.
This is the week baseball's Southern California rivalry goes national. I'm Ben Higgins, ABC 10 News.
The best of 5 series begins tomorrow at just after 6:30 p.m. The first team to win 3 will advance to face either the Atlanta Braves or Miami Marlins in the National League Championship Series.